Hello, hello, and welcome to my Lunch and Learn, where each and every week we explore topics to help you elevate your mindset, be at your best, and radically expand your life and business. And today I want to talk about something that I've seen a lot of people have problems with, but it's not something that's really talked about. And it's what to do when you are not clear about what you want. I think at this time of year, you're either really busy preparing for the holidays and for Christmas and then getting ready for the new year. And you might even be doing some goal setting along the way. If you're in business, you're probably done your goal setting or you are currently doing your goal setting. But one of the things I find is so often we are doing things at such a superficial level. And when it comes to really truly knowing what we want, the depths of our soul in a meaningful and compelling way, you don't really know what you desire unless you've actually taken the time to think things through. Um, but more often than not, I very rarely meet people that are truly and fully aligned with what they want and where they're going on a cellular level. And so there is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you if you don't know that, because I think that's the boat a lot of people are in. Not having clearly defined and meaningful goals is so common among women, among men, among older adults, among young people. And it's one of the leading causes in people not having a rich and fulfilling life that they want, that they love. And it's why they're ultimately feeling stuck. Now, before I burst your holiday bubble, you're like, why are you talking about this right before the holidays? Give me like a nice theme. Give me something beautiful. I promise I'm going to unpack this in just a minute, but I do have some solutions for you because I want you to know that you're not alone and you can truly manage this and thrive along the way. Now, some of you know me, some of you don't. I'm Larisa Makuch. I'm author of Stop Procrastinating Your Life Away and Master Results Coach and CEO of Abundance Academy, where we help successful women ready for their next level of success connect to who they are at a deeper level so they can bridge their gap between dreaming and doing and radically expand their lives and businesses. Now, I'd love to know where you're coming in from. If you're tuning in by replay, type in replay in the chat. If it is your first time, type in first time in the chat, because I want to thank you for being here and I absolutely appreciate you and your presence. Now, over the years, I've done a lot of goal setting. It's actually back in 2004, like 20 years ago, is when I first started doing a goal setting and dream stretching process for myself. And it's something I've started to introduce to my clients over the past few years. And at first, I thought it was really simple for people to set goals. And I mean, it was relatively straightforward for me. You decide what you want in different areas of life, and then you go for it. Okay. And then I realized there was more to it than that. And when I met my mentor, Bob Proctor, he would ask people, what is it that you really want? And I'm like, oh, I have a list of 500 things that I really want. And I realized that was really playing at the surface level. And I think a lot of times, most of us set surface level goals, or maybe goals that our kids, our spouses, our parents, or other people in the real world think we should have. But they're not things that we necessarily want. They're not things that are aligned with us at an extremely deep level. And at the end of the day, you get a few check marks, but you're not really left satisfied. So just like Bob taught me to dig deeper and really think about what I really truly want, I ask my clients the same thing. I say, what do you want? What do you really want? And that second question gets you to go deeper. And the deeper you go, the more satisfied you'll ultimately be. Now, this seems like a super simple question. This is not rocket science. Like, what do you want? It doesn't sound like a big, crazy, hard question to answer. However, it has a lot of depth to it, because when you ask, what do you really want? You're not just asking for oh, I just want a car. And there's nothing wrong with having a car, but do you just want a car because it's like, oh, yours is breaking down? Or do you want a car because it's going to make you feel alive? It's going to make you feel confidence. It's the car you've been dreaming about for 10, 20, 30 years. and you're like, yeah, I want this one. I love how it rumbles. I love how it feels under my backside as I drive it. I love the idea of holding the steering wheel. Like I love everything about the color I desire, the seats I'm going to sit in. If it's a meaningful goal, go for it. If it's a really, truly good goal is meaningful and compelling, it's one that you love and desire. And I think for a lot of people, it can take time to actually come up with an answer, because what happens when people go, well, do I actually want this? Like, is this really, truly compelling to me? Sometimes they go, wow, I don't even know what compelling means. And it's almost like you have to take a couple steps back to really get close to what it is that you want. Sometimes people feel bad that they don't know what they want and they can't identify it right away. Others try to force a lot of false answers, but it's not going to feel worthwhile. It's not going to be worthwhile if you don't align with it at a deeper level. So let me just ask you, why would you, okay, let me ask you, would you like to feel confident and optimistic as you step into this new year, whether you have clearly defined goals or not? So ask yourself, like, do I want to be confident and optimistic stepping into this new year? Even like, I'm going to have direction, but even if it's not 150% clearly defined. And are you ready to stop worrying about the clock ticking away and start focusing on your dreams and desires and allow them to unfold before your eyes? Because that's really what it is about today. So you may be thinking, why did I title today's lesson? You've been talking about goals. Why did I title it Permission Granted? Give Yourself the Freedom to Thrive. Well, I just want to look at what this means. When you grant yourself permission, you are agreeing to or giving yourself consent towards something. And when I'm talking about granting permission, this is you giving yourself permission, you giving yourself the consent to actually thrive, to have the freedom that you desire, right? When it comes to thriving, to prosper and succeed in material and not in non-material terms, when it comes to really flourishing in your life on all levels and having the ability to do that without any handcuffs on you, whether those handcuffs are put on by some external force or even your own self-imposed limitations. Now, sometimes it's as simple as just saying, I give you permission to dream. I give you permission to have a goal. I give you permission to focus on you first. I give you permission to find goals, dreams, and desires that are for you. And I think as women, sometimes we have never given ourselves that basic permission to put ourselves first. However, if you don't fill your cup, nobody else is going to do it for you. Other people are too busy, too distracted, too much in their own worlds to want to do that for you. They might for a few minutes, but they're going to get distracted with their cell phones, with their lives, with their own goals and dreams. And so your job is to put yourself first, to give yourself permission. And I invite you to just close your eyes at some point and see, if I give myself permission, what does that do for me? How does that make me feel? So have a really good talk. Notice, like, have I actually given myself permission to have goals, to have dreams that are my own? Because that is step one. And if not, now would be a good time to give or gift yourself permission. Maybe you just need to say, I give you permission. Maybe you need to write it down. Maybe you need to write a letter to yourself. So tune into your intuition to see how you need to give yourself that permission, perhaps even looking at a mirror and literally having a conversation. You will probably feel ridiculous doing it, but have a conversation with yourself and say, wow, girl, like, I've never given you permission to have goals, to have dreams of your own. That's ridiculous. You want other people to thrive. Today is your day to put yourself first. So step number one is really have that true deep conversation with yourself and grant yourself permission to move ahead. Step number 2, what I want you to realize that maybe you have some drama, some trauma, some baggage, some stress, and some heavy, heavy weight, emotional baggage that you've been carrying around. Now, if you have a lot of heaviness or that kind of mental or emotional distraction, it's going to be very challenging for you to actually be able to set a goal. And so often people might intellectually know how to do that, but they're not able to cross the threshold because they're carrying around this emotional baggage. That does not mean you can't change it. And that doesn't mean you can never move forward, even if circumstances uh, are not favorable around you. Now, there's one client that I've worked with for a number of years, and when she came to me, she was having a very difficult time. Her husband's health had deteriorated rapidly, and since I've known her, it has been deteriorating each and every year. And it's a very difficult thing that she's been going through. She's been watching this and experiencing her husband um, going through a lot of changes that are they're not desirable for her. And in the beginning, she was like, wow, I can't even set a goal. I'm just trying to get through today. And she didn't always feel good, but what she did do is she kept showing up and she said, I'm going to get through today. I'm going to get through today. I'm going to get through today. And over time, she kept asking herself these questions. Well, if I did have a goal, what would I want? What could I want? What might I want? And it took her a while, it took her almost a year to actually come up with a compelling goal. But she came up with one. And because she took the time and she kept coming back, even though circumstances were not favorable, she now has a meaningful goal that she can fully stand behind. And she works towards each and every day. What she also learned along that time is how to manage herself in her life. You can't always control the situations around you, but what you can do is you can control your response to them. And if you don't, you're going to stay in victim mode forever. And when you do, you claim authority over your life. It's not about being in control. It really is just about being aligned and moving forward in spite of obstacles. And what happens is as you start to navigate, as you start to move forward in life, you build self-trust. Self-trust is an absolute must. You spend time moving forward and really proving to yourself that you are moving in the right direction because she spent so much time on her goal. She is so much more certain that her goal is hers and has absolute conviction. Now, this particular client was able to do this. She was very patient. She took her time and did it methodically over that first year. And she's been with me for a couple of years. She did it primarily in a group setting because she needed and for her, that kind of support, that community support was absolutely pivotal. Others have come to me. They're like, I'm going through this difficult time and I want to expedite the process. And for those people, if you're one of those people that wants to expedite the process, there are tools to expedite the process and clear the emotional weight even faster. One's not right, one's not wrong. They're just different. But if you're the kind of person that likes to expedite the process, one of the things that I do to help clear that emotional baggage so you can actually see the forest through the trees is a breakthrough process. So if that's of interest to you, just write breakthrough in the chat and I will make sure our team sends you more information on that. But there are many tools. The point is that there are many tools available to move forward. You got to take your time and give yourself the space and grace. If you want to do it a little faster, there are tools available for that. However, the point is move forward. And if you've got stuff in the way, you've got to find ways to manage it because you're not going to control all your stuff, but you are going to control how you show up in your world. So I hope that makes sense. I hope if you guys have any questions, let me know. But I think this is really important because so often we're like, oh, I could just set a goal. Oh, I'll go to a workshop and I'll just answer the things. But I have been to many workshops where I could not answer the questions. I've had people come to my workshops and go, oh, I didn't know how to answer this and I feel like a total failure. No, there's nothing wrong with you. Come back again. come back again, come back again, come back again, come back again. You might have to come back 5, 10, 20, 1,000 times, but I guarantee you, if you keep coming back, the answers will come. If you keep asking yourself the questions, the answers will come. So be patient. Be patient. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. We all have our own timeline. Last but not least, if you're like, I know there's like this big juicy goal, this big thing I'm supposed to do in the world, but I can't articulate it. I know it's something more. I feel it's in this kind of direction, but I don't know. And the goals I've written, they're okay, but they're not that goal. They're not that big juicy goal. They don't light me up like a Christmas tree. Okay. Great when they do, but if they don't, one of the things that we've started really doing this year, especially with myself, with my community, is giving yourself permission to step into being perfectly imperfect. So I have one client and she's like, I know I have flashes of these things, but they're not fully together yet. She's just started a couple months ago, and she's like, my picture is getting more clear, but I still don't know what that big, juicy, compelling thing is that just lights me up. I'm lit up by these ideas, but they're not quite it. And so she's set some goals, and I asked her to close her eyes. And I've done this a lot for myself as well, where I don't always have the words in the beginning. I close my eyes and I said, okay, these goals that you've set, that they're not like the goal, but they're okay goals. They're pretty good goals. Close your eyes, ask your intuition, are they in alignment with this big thing that I may not have the words for? Are they in alignment? Are they moving in that right direction? And if I do these things, will they make my life better? Will they teach me things? Will they strengthen me? Will they improve my situation? And she was like, well, absolutely. Go with those. You're not holding yourself back. You're still moving forward while you keep articulating, while you keep clarifying, while you keep moving forward in the direction of your big, juicy goal and dream. Okay. So I'm not saying set lesser goals, but if you don't know the big thing, if you don't know the big compelling thing you're moving towards, pick something and be diligent about moving in that direction, because you are going to grow as a person. You are going to evolve. You are going to gain skills. You're going to still have to challenge yourself as you keep moving forward. And that's essentially one of the main premises of the Stop Procrastinating Your Life Away book. Don't wait for situations to be perfect. Circumstances are never going to be 150%. But you've got to get moving, and you've got to get moving now. Release the pressure of perfection. It ain't serving you. Les Brown, he says, you're not going to be good when you get started, but you've got to get started to get great. And when you keep moving forward every single day, you will need a telescope to see how far you've come. Think about it. If you did one purposeful action, it doesn't even have to be a big one, but one purposeful action every day in a year, that is 365 purposeful actions you've taken. And if you know they are good actions, if you know they're good for you, they're good for the world, they're good for your life, and you want them. Maybe you're not like, I want them up here. Maybe you only want them 50 or 70%. Go with them as you find that thing that lights you up like a Christmas tree. But give yourself permission to get going. Give yourself permission to keep moving forward. And if you want a downloadable copy of the Stop Procrastinating book, just write book in the chat. My team will make sure to get that to you, because it's absolutely free. We have a free downloadable copy, and there are so many tools and resources in there to get you off the fence and get you moving, because that is essentially what is required to thrive in life. If you want a life of freedom, if you want more time, money, and freedom, you have to get started today. You need to close your eyes. You need to go within. You need to find the messages Spirit is giving you and take courageous action in that direction, even if the words aren't perfect, even if you don't have all your ducks in a row, but keep moving forward. Okay. So first, give yourself permission. If you haven't actually said, I give you permission, you might literally have to say that and say it out loud. It'll be better for you. It'll go into the cells of your body on a much deeper level. It'll literally, it'll encode them in a much stronger way. So give yourself permission. Second, If you have heaviness or emotional baggage or things, you've got to get it out of the way, or create some breathing room so you can start seeing the forest through the trees. Give yourself the time to to truly uncover your goals, your dreams, and your desires. Don't be in a rush. Don't be in a rush. And absolutely, absolutely realize that if things aren't perfect, but they're good enough, you've got to get started anyway. So get yourself up and get yourself moving. So I hope this has been helpful. If you are interested in learning more about the breakthrough process, type in breakthrough in the chat. If you want a free downloadable copy of the Stop Procrastinating book with tons and tons of resources available to you, it will get you off the fence. Mention book in the chat, and I will be back again. I think I'm going to go live next week. It's Christmas Day, but I don't know if I'm going to aim to go live. We'll decide. If I don't see you next week, I will definitely see you within a couple of weeks. But have yourself a beautiful holiday season and give yourself permission to live your best life today and every day moving forward. So I will see you very, very soon.